So something very interesting has come out about our favorite company, Sweet Baby Inc. And unfortunately, we don't have any concrete official confirmation that this is actually true. We just have rumor. But apparently Sony is dropping Sweet Baby Inc. as a consulting firm. Now, if you've watched my channel for a little while, the past like few months, you're probably already, starting to type on your keyboard and be like, oh my God, here he go. He about to defend, because I'm always the contrarian. I'm always trying to like see things from both perspectives. And you probably gonna be like, here he go. He about to try to defend Sweet Baby Inc. in some way. But in actual honesty, I'm all for it. I'm all for getting Sweet Baby Inc. the fuck up out of here. Sweet Baby Inc. has become the name has become a cancer on the gaming space. And let me do my thing real quick. I'm all for wanting to include different types of stories, as in, just being straight up, like having, more diverse female characters, more diverse stories, stuff, not every game being the quote unquote white grizzled male character. I'm all for that. But the way that Sweet Baby Inc. tried to go about doing it, and we are not in the rooms where we're hearing verbatim what they're saying, but based off of what the CEO said about basically manipulating these companies through threats, have a coffee with them.
Put this stuff up to your higher ups, and if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's gonna happen if they don't give you what you want.
Now, while I'm using that recording, let's be completely fair, she did say it was a joke.
Because they have to consider, like, I say that out as a joke, but it's actually very, very true because...
She did say it was a joke. However, there's always truth in pretty much every joke. So while you may not literally be saying that, you may be operating with that in mind. All of that shit, the second that came out, they should have been immediately terminated by every single company. Instead of making gaming more inclusive and bringing people together, it did nothing but divide people even more. From one extreme of get them out of my game to the other extreme of we need to get the white man out of the game. I mean, the absolute vitriol that gamers have now for certain types of characters was just astronomical. It was just blown to a whole new level the second that video came out. And it's all her, it's completely all her fault. She should not have said what she said. However, I'm happy that she did because it exposed the corruption in some of these consulting firms that specialize in that stuff. And if you're a consulting firm that specializes in that's not a bad thing. It's the way you go about doing it, and they just went about it the wrong way. Again, based off of what she said, what the CEO said. I mean, if you work at Sweet Baby, you can be like, oh well, no, we don't actually do it. Listen, your CEO, you need to get a handle on your CEO, because she was out there talking crazy, and she basically screwed it up for all of you. And there is absolutely no defending that. I'm looking at this just from a business perspective. In my head, there is no reason why they should have kept them as a consulting firm. Now, there are other consulting firms that do the same, that kind of specialize in the same thing. Sweet Baby Inc. is not the only one, obviously, but they're the only one that came out basically telling their fuck shit. I can't for the life of me see why any company would want to work with them. Again, not because of their what they stand for as far as wanting to tell those diverse stories, just simply the name, having Sweet Baby Inc. under your credits is terrible for your business. Now, if this is true, with Sweet Baby Inc. being gone, does that mean that every game hopefully comes out where it's again, the quote unquote white grizzled male or the half naked woman, something like that? Hopefully that's not the case. I would love to see more awesome, cool female characters or other races, whatever. You know, let me get a Yoruichi game. You know, we can tell some good stories with female characters. Not every single one has to be the woke power kind of game. And there really aren't a ton of those. There really are not a ton of like woke power games. You know, that kind of thing gets blown out of proportion, but it, you know, the game itself doesn't preach all of the woke ideology, but then it gets hijacked by the, you know, the writers and stuff like that. And that's where the wokeness ends up coming in. But that, all in all, that's my pretty much initial thoughts about the situation. Just a little quick throw out, you know, yap video. What do you think about? Obviously, I know the majority of you are gonna be, you know, throwing confetti in the air. The ding dong, the king is dead. Finally, get that bitch out of here. But again, like in all honesty, I can't be the contrarian or, you know, see both sides in this situation. I'm all for getting Sweet Baby Inc., that company specifically, up out of here. So get in the comments, let me know what you think about it. What do you think about the possibility of other consulting firms out there, you know, consulting on games? Do you think it's fine as long as they, you know, make the characters, you know, cool and not, you know, preachy? Or are you one of the people that just want all consulting firms that specialize in the type of woke stuff, I guess? You know, making sure a game has, if it has a female character in it, make sure that she's not written to be the, again, quote unquote sex slave, whatever. But again, let me know what you think about that whole situation. And with that, I look forward to y'all's comments. I'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all take care.